Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
So one of the, this very small price for being here and getting to eat the great food and drink the great stuff is that we do some speechifying and we hear from Jennifer and other folks. You know, my name is Glenn Schaller. I am, amongst other things, the political coordinator at the Monterey Bay Central Labor Council, AFL-CIO. We're the union of unions for Monterey and Santa Cruz counties. I first got to know Jennifer when we had a slate of people who were running to be delegates. Which one? Was it the state first or the national first? National, to be, in this case, Bernie Sanders delegates to the national convention. And there were caucuses for both the Bernie folks and the Hillary folks in Salinas at the same time, in the same place in Salinas, slightly different locations. And we had a slate of folks who were labor people at both locations, I'm proud to say. And every labor delegate who ran won at both locations. And Jennifer was the highest vote. We then made sure to have a meeting in Salinas of both the Clinton delegates and Sanders delegates from our area to meet each other before they headed back to the big convention so they could start building relationships before everybody started getting mad at each other. And Jennifer was an important part of that, where the delegates got to talk to each other about why they supported their own candidate and got to listen to the other folks. We then had a process whereby in our assembly district, in 80 assembly districts across California, there's a process whereby delegates are elected to the state convention. And again, we had a slate of folks who ran, and again, Jennifer was the top vote getter. She also became a delegate to the Monterey Bay Central Labor Council somewhere in there for the California Nurses Association, and got very involved in what our labor council is doing. And then I made sure at the Santa Cruz County Democratic Party dinner that Jennifer and Sarah sat next to each other. And as a result, Jennifer's now running for school board. And this is the way the process should work, is that you get involved at the local level, you get involved, in her case, at the national level, you get to know the union involved in the process, the Pajaro Valley Federation of Teachers, and as a result, decide to step up. So I'm going to introduce now Sarah Henney from the Pajaro Valley Federation of Teachers to come say a few words.
Can you, somebody?
Everybody.
She's going to speak. She's going to speak.
Don't take her.
Let's share your mom for just a minute. Thank you.
Yeah, so speaking of that evening, I was sitting next to Jennifer. Glenn did a good job because it was the Coke chair and I. And we started talking with Jennifer, and our eyes lit up when we found out where she lives. And to my surprise, when we mentioned it, she said, I've thought about that for a long time. And it just goes to show that she's the right person for the job. And I'm now a parent. I've worked in the PVUSD for 18 years. But now I'm a parent because my daughter just started at Duncan Holbert. And not only am I a parent, but I'm a parent of a daughter who has special needs. And when I think about Jennifer's ethics as a career nurse, and I think about the integrity and care she brings to everything she does in her life, including her own family, and all of the involvement that she has prioritized in her life. She's a busy woman, and she makes time to get involved in her community and to stand up for the things that really matter to those of us who, we depend on our systems. We depend on the democratic system. We depend on the health care that needs a lot of improvement. And she's really out there working on those issues. And those are the issues that the families in the PVUSD care about as well. She has children in our schools. So there's nothing more as a parent and as a teacher that I would look for in a candidate. She's made time to come on several occasions to see how our school board runs. She's reached out to community members to get an idea of what the issues are. And I have no doubt that she will make an excellent trustee, and that our families and our classified and our certificated folks are going to be extremely happy. We may not always agree. I always like to say that. That doesn't matter. She's going to think critically about the issues that we are facing, and she's going to ask questions. That's something that has been lacking in our Board of Trustees. Not everybody, but lots of our trustees tend to just be spoon-fed information. And I know that she won't take that. She's going to ask the important questions, and she's going to demand the answers. So I'm glad we're all here to support her, and we're going to continue to support her until she is voted in as one of our next trustees.
So also here today are people running for other offices, and I want to acknowledge some folks who are here, some who are elected and some who are candidates. Adam Spickler is now the trustee-elect at Cabrillo College. Alan Hoffa is the chair of the Monterey County Democratic Central Committee. Abel Sanchez has just been re-elected, is now a trustee-elect at the Santa Cruz County School Board. Casey Carlson, Casey, right here, thank you, sit down, is the president of the Greater Santa Cruz Federation of Teachers. And Wes White, who is helping by videotaping today, is a candidate for mayor in the city of Salinas. And Danielle Dodge Jr., where's Danny? Right inside, is running to be on the Pajaro Valley School Board as well. And if I missed anybody, you're going to come and complain to me, and I'll take care of that. So the next person is Jenny Sarmiento to come on up and talk about that. We have too many Jennys and Jennifers.
We have just the right amount.
Just the right amount. Thank you. That's a much better way to say it. So everybody else is going to run. They got me named something else.
Stephanie.
That's right. You got it.
It's actually Jenny Power.
That's right. Jenny Power.
We have another Jenny over there, planning commissioner. So my name is Jenny Sarmiento, and I met Jennifer probably about 2 years ago also at the state convention. And we got to know each other a little bit. But after that, we got to know each other a lot better because we were both at several rallies in the plaza, in Watsonville Plaza. And I was really impressed with her commitment to learn everything about the entire school district, not only her area, but the whole student population and the different needs that the students have throughout the PVUSD, all the way from Aptos, all the way to North Monterey. So you can imagine there are a lot of different issues and challenges that a lot of the students have and the families. And through our conversations, I realized that she was very open. Yes, she is going to be elected to represent a district, but she will govern with the mindset of working for the entire school population. And as a Latina and also from Watsonville, I was really impressed with that commitment. I think anybody who's running for school board has to have that commitment of looking at the entire school district, not only at a slice of the district. And Jennifer, I've invited her. Everybody invites her to attend rallies and be a speaker at the women's. Rachel Williams, my campaign manager over there, and I coordinated the Women's International Women's Day in Watsonville. We invited Jennifer, and even though she had to go to work, she came and spoke before she went to work. And there was another event, and I can't remember what it was. Immigration Day, several other things that she also did the same thing. She came and spoke and participated and waited around before going to work. And to me, that speaks a lot of wanting to know the entire community and the commitment and the integrity that she has. And so if I were in her district, I would vote for her. Woo. Thank you.
Next, we're going to hear from the Vice Chair of the Santa Cruz County Democratic Party, Tony Russomo.
I'm also the chair of the endorsement committee for the county Democrats, so I am not able to endorse a candidate before our endorsement committee meeting on the 29th. So I'd like to endorse Jen on a personal level and tell you what it was like to be supporting opposing candidates at the Democratic National Convention. Because I was part of that group that this guy put together, even though he doesn't like to be identified. Oh, now he wants to. Right. So he put together slates of people supporting Hillary Clinton and people supporting the other guy, Bernie, I said. And it was cats and dogs, right? I mean, the Bernie people and the Hillary people, you know what was going on. Except for our little district, except for our district in California. We went to the convention not only being the only district who actually met, each other before the convention, but the only district whose Bernie supporters and Hillary supporters actually talked to each other during the convention. I know. We sat down together. One morning at the California delegation, at the California breakfast, Jen's there with her nurses, and I was like, oh, do-de-do, I'm wandering around, oh, I'm for Hillary, and they're like, here, Bernie. And she's like, Tony, come on over, sit down. It's like, and she introduces me, oh, this is Tony, he's a Hillary delegate, and everybody moved away from me. But we all met, we're all for labor, and they all moved back together, we're all happy. Because we found some commonality as labor supporters, so we found that, and what that did was eliminate the concept of the other. I wasn't the Hillary person, or she wasn't the Bernie person. We were the labor people. We were together in that. So that's why I like her, because she knows how to do that. She knows how to get along with people. She knows how to bring people together. I saw that happen. It was unprecedented. Nowhere else did that happen. Oh my God, I ought to get a bigger mic stand. Nowhere else did that happen. At the Democratic convention than in our little district in California. We're the ones who did that. She's the one who did that.
So in politics, in terms of doing voter contact, there's a holy triumvirate of firefighters and nurses and teachers. And Jennifer is two of those, as both a nurse and as an instructor at Cabrillo. In this neck of the woods, in the Aptos-La Selva Fire District, there's a contested race. There are 2 seats up and 3 people running, and the local firefighters here, Local 3535, have chosen 2 people to be the candidates that they support. And they are very interested in palling up with Jennifer in this area. So if we can get firefighters to walk with Jennifer, we'll have a firefighter and a teacher and a nurse.
Can I say something?
Please do.
My house burned down.
Oh.
I work with Jennifer.
There you go.
And I live here, but it's not my house.
Okay.
Anyway, I feel like it's my house.
Yeah.
And so, I'll go to the fire station.
Right on.
Because they saved old Mr. Tyson walking around.
Right
He was
on.
2 years old. And they, and a lot of the nurses are married to these firefighters.
I keep hearing that. These nurse firefighter families who are going to be the opinion leaders in their neighborhoods and be helping us by knocking on doors and
That's right.
checking in. I think we've got some interesting possibilities here. But I wanted to introduce Barbara Johnson to come say a few words about our friend Jennifer.
Thank you. Just a few notes, but it won't take too long. Well, I'm so happy to be here to help champion Jennifer's bid for trustee at the Pajaro Valley School Board. And I've had the pleasure of working with Jen at Cabrillo College, and she's an instructor there. I think of the many accomplishments that Jen has completed at her tenure at Cabrillo, completing her 2nd bachelor's degree in nursing, completing her master's degree in nursing, where she focused on, diversity and equity in nursing education. All the while working 2 jobs, mothering 3 children, partnering with her husband of over 20 years, and taking care of various stray cats and their kittens. While at Cabrillo, Jen has worked in 2 clinical areas and is now working on developing new curriculum that will really advance the Cabrillo nursing program. Jen, you're a tour de force, whose many accomplishments are handled with great skill and integrity. I was recently talking to Jen about considering expanding her skill set at Cabrillo, and the first thing she said to me was, I'm not sure that I can do that with integrity. This really illustrates to me Jen's commitment to her values, her commitment to completeness and to soundness, her incorruptibility. Jen brings integrity to her role of educator, where she is tasked with guiding the mental and ethical development of student nurses. Jen Holmes makes a difference, and I support you wholeheartedly in your bid to make a difference in education for the Pajaro Valley District. Thank you.
before I introduce our next speaker, I wanted to ask if we could thank Catherine for the use of her wonderful home.
And this man came to my front door and helped me move furniture.
All right. There you go. He's the Renaissance guy. That's right. So next we're going to hear from Alan Hoffa, who is both the Vice President of the Monterey Peninsula College Teachers Association and a Monterey City Council member, and, as I said before, the chair of the Monterey County Democratic Party. And all that, he still found the time to drive up here. Come on, Alan.
Thank you.
I'm very proud to be here, and I'm very proud to support Jen. I'd like to comment on two things. When I think of Jen Holmes, I think of courage, and I think of kindness. And I did serve with her at the Democratic Convention in 2016. We're also delegates to the state convention. And what I see in Jen is someone who will fight hard for what she believes in, whether it's, single payer Medicare for all, or whether it's education for our kids. She is a fighter, and she is courageous, and that's the kind of person that we need in public service. The other thing that I think of is kindness. She has such a big heart, and she truly, truly cares about people. Courage, kindness, conviction, ethics, everything everyone else has said totally resonates and is true. And I hope that the voters in Pajaro Valley make her a trustee.
All right. So next I wanted to introduce Adele Gardner, who has been a campaign manager, campaign maven, helping out here and there and everywhere else, and now actually gets to talk about someone who lives in Aptos. Yeah!
Well, all those things that people have said about Jen are absolutely true. But I'm here because I'm Jen's next door neighbor. And so it's been really great to see Jen come in through the Democratic Party and the Bernie Hillary stuff. But way before that, she was raising children next door to me. And you know a lot about someone when you watch them raise their kids. And she has this amazing balance between freedom and requiring personal responsibility for her children that just moves me. You talk about problem solving, but neighbors, good friends make good neighbors. We've had things where we've had to sort it out. And Jen has done it with such complete openness, problem solving ability when being confronted with push, she seeks understanding. And to me, those are amazing qualities for any human being, but in politics, they're going to be phenomenal. So my understanding of Jen, even though all these things that you've heard about her politically are true, on a personal, she's a good neighbor. And it means a lot to be a good neighbor, and I think she'll be a good neighbor for the people of Pajaro School District, and she'll have her eye out for their kids like she has her eye out for her own kids, and it's a beautiful thing. Now I'm going to put on my campaign hat. My campaign hat is, she's well and good, we all support her. She needs more signs. Yes. And I know that signs cost about $9 each, okay? So she needs about 500 signs, I would say, at least, as a campaign person. So those envelopes, if you haven't put something in them yet, please do. She needs signs, she needs these little walk pieces. Campaigns run on money. I don't know how to say it any differently than that. She needs money, and we need to give it to her. Right. So, Jen, fabulous neighbor. You're going to be phenomenal on the school board. The whole community is so lucky to have you.
We have had another elected official join us. Georgia Acosta, who is on the Pajaro Valley Unified School District, is here. Thank you for your service. So the person I'm about to introduce decided to run for the Cabrillo Board of Trustees, knowing that the incumbent had been there for, when did the Earth form? How long back? For a very long time, and had never had an opponent. And in this case, Adam decided he was going to run nonetheless. And then the Incumbent chose not to run. Last Friday, we found that out. And then just Wednesday of this week, nobody else filed. And so one of the ways that you become an elected official in some cases is that everybody else gets out of your way. And that's the case with Adam Spickler. Come on. Careful there. Yeah, that's right.
And do I need to move it, or can y'all hear me?
No, you're good.
If you pull it, push that up, the other side will go down. Twist it. There you go.
There you go. So, you've heard a lot of talk so far about Jen and the past, about things that Jen's done. I'm here to tell you about Jen's future. It involves a really good pair of walking shoes, a charged cell phone and laptop, let's see, 500, so about 10,000 stamps, 500 signs. I'll agree with you. I think that's a good number. And a whole lot of mail. And that is really expensive. And as Adele, great segue, was starting to talk about money, that's my job, is to let you know that in order for Jen's message, all of the things you've heard about her so far and the things you'll hear her say in a few minutes, for folks who've never met her, to spend half a second and not simply put something down on the coffee table and never go back to it, but to get a meaningful piece of mail, something in the mail, and a phone call, and something at their door, it's going to take a lot of energy. So I'm also here to let you know that I can either be very brief and give Jen space right away to speak, or I can be here as long as it takes for you all to write a check. You're going to join me.
I'm not proud or tired.
So I will freely admit I've already given Jen $50. This is another check for $100. So I'm going to ask who here is willing to meet me at $150 and get out your checkbook right now. We'll pass you an envelope and write a check for Jen.
I already gave mine. I already handed mine.
Done.
Remember, I'll be brief or I'll take a really long time.
150 here.
Excellent.
Right on.
We were just saying some of us did it at the door.
That's good.
Great.
No, that's wonderful.
Great. And it's okay to give more. What's the maximum that somebody can give in this race?
There is no maximum.
There's no maximum.
Maximum.
So if you feel so moved and you want me to stop talking, you might see if you have the ability to write a second check. It's okay to do that.
Sorry, I'm trying to hold it.
Jennifer Holm for School Board 2018. If you can get all of that in the check line, that's great.
And we cannot take cash.
Right.
That was disappointing to me because
Yeah,
that's the
no,
one I did.
but that means your intent to give, we will remember. You will figure out a way to make sure you do.
I'll
But I
do
have
it
a
online.
daughter who has a cell phone.
Oh, people can give.
Oh, and so
Oh,
there
that's
is a way to donate online. And so
I'm gonna do that.
seek out Jennifer's children in order to do that.
Yes,
Have a spot for a stamp.
yes, they
So
do.
cleverly designed.
Yep.
Right,
And don't forget this part, like how you can help too.
there you go.
Yes.
That's really
And I need to say, as a staffer at the Central Labor Council, everything Jennifer has produced has been produced at a union print shop.
Very well.
You can see that the union bug is on the It's really important to support. And then, so the other thing, and remember, I'm going to be as brief as it takes to write checks. The other thing Jennifer's going to really need is our support. So even if you can't stick money in here, but what you can do is write, count on me to walk a precinct with you. Count on me if you're making phone calls, Jen, I'll be there with you. I can either sit with you and take notes while you're on the phone, or I can make phone calls on your behalf. She's going to have lists of folks that you maybe walked a precinct for, where someone will go, I have a question because my kid, when he was in school 2 years ago and the teacher said da-da-da, and I've got a question for Jen. She's going to be spending her evenings after walking, calling people back and saying, Tony was at your door and told me you had a question. What can I help you with? It's a lot of work. We've got to be there to support her emotionally and through this campaign to get her over the finish line. I'm really excited to see people focusing their energy right this moment on supporting her with money, but do think about ways you can sign up to support her elsewhere. And I think I'll leave it there. I think thanks for folks writing that. And Jen, thank you for stepping up.
Yeah.
So there are about 10,000 voters in this trustee area, and they are very high propensity voters, people who tend to vote all the time, or as I call them, pathological voters. They can't stop themselves from voting. So many of them vote early. And as you know, Get Out the Vote is no longer just election day or the weekend before, it's the entire month before election day. So this campaign and Jennifer will be reaching folks as early as possible, especially those people who vote early. But now I want to present to you our candidate, Jennifer Holm. There you go.
Maybe you need that.
There you go. I don't want to take any labor.
Your salary.
First of all, I want to say thank you. Everyone who's here is here because you're invested in schools. Maybe you came to support me, but the reason you're supporting me is to support our schools and the kids and the students in our district. When I was asked why I was running, what it comes down to, campaigns are a conversation about what's possible. It's about what's possible for our schools. It's about what's possible for our communities. It's a possibility about what's available to all of us. I know as a parent what I want for my kids, but it goes beyond that. You know, Aaron and Jason, who's still at the front door, they've graduated, but they're still members of this community. My youngest he's going into 5th grade, or he's just started 5th grade this last week. He's got 8 more years in the district. I want to make sure that his future in the next 8 years is a strong one. And I want to make sure that everybody else's kids who are in the district are strong as well. I've been talking to people about what they want for our community, what they want for our schools. And what I'm learning is that people want to be known. People want to be known, they want to be respected, and they want to know that their voice is carried through. And one of the things that Sarah talked about was how we may not necessarily agree all the time. And that's true. I mean, every single one of us here right now probably has a different opinion about something. But what I strongly believe is that there is strength in diversity. Strength in diversity of our backgrounds, where we come from, what our opinions are. And I want to see that in our schools. So my promise is to respect the diversity of where people are coming from, the diversity of opinions, and to work collaboratively with other people towards cooperative solutions that actually benefit our communities. I've been a nurse for 13 years. My lucky 13th year just happened in July. And when I was finishing up my master's, and as I was going through all of that, what I saw over and over and over again was that the data showed that education level is the #1 predictor of healthcare outcomes. And I've been thinking about that, even before I decided, to run for this. And when someone said, well, you're a nurse, why school board? Because advocating for our students is how I can advocate for the health of our community. And I'm not going to be one of those people I don't pretend that I have all the answers. But I have the drive to look for answers. And I have the drive to talk to the people who have access to different kinds of answers. There are solutions to problems we're not even aware of yet. There's plenty of problems that we have right now. And things are uncertain. But my promise is to work with people and move things forward in a way that all the stakeholders have a voice. I want to return to my thank you. Because there are so many other places you could be on a Saturday afternoon. You could be spending time with your family, with your friends, Netflix and chilling, whatever it might be. But you chose to be here, right? And I know most of you. I know most of you very well. And you're paying attention. You're paying attention to what's at stake, both in local politics and and beyond. And the fact that you would come out here and be involved at this level means a great deal to me. And I promise to be worthy of the time that you've given today. So thank you very, very much.
All right. There is
Yes.
plenty to drink.
So
And
please eat, drink, and be merry.
there you go. Thank you, Joe.
I didn't make the official speakers list for whatever reason, but I'm going to grab the mic.
We already had Glenn.
It's all right, it's okay. But I wanted to just say a few very short things, which is that I met Jen when I was also running as an ADM for 8029, and she really is my favorite ADM my favorite fellow idiom. You know, people talked about how she can resolve issues through community and identity, right? Well, the other thing is that she has this bright, cheerful, always pleasant, always positive attitude. She's a pleasure to work with. And when you talk about, and I've been on 501c3 boards, so when you talk about people who are on a board, right, you want people who can work together across the differences that Sarah talked about. And part of that effective way of doing that is to provide a little bit of just pleasant lubrication. My grandmother would say you get more peace with honey than with vinegar. Your honey is right here.
Be merry, and thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.